The ship called Horizon floated at the edge of our solar system. Captain Eric Mason stood at the front window, looking at the strange object they had found. It was not from Earth. After 20 years in space, Eric knew this was the moment everyone had waited for. "Captain, I'm picking up energy readings," said Lisa Daniels, the science officer. Her eyes stayed fixed on her screen. "It's active. And I think it noticed us." Eric nodded and straightened his uniform. Alert level yellow. Get everyone to their stations. The Horizon was the best ship humans had ever built. It could travel faster than light, something humans had only figured out 10 years ago. This mission was supposed to be routine. Check the outer limits, map some asteroids, go home. Finding an alien outpost changed everything. "Sir, the object is opening," said John Grant from his communication station. His voice shook a little. "And we're receiving a signal." The crew watched as the metal structure split apart like a flower. Inside was a smaller ship, elegant and clearly built by hands that were not human. "Put it on screen," Eric ordered. The main screen lit up, and for the first time in known history, humans saw aliens. They had gray skin that seemed to shimmer. Their heads were larger at the top, with 4 eyes placed wider apart than human eyes. They had no visible nose, just small breathing holes, and when they spoke, their mouths barely moved. "Greetings, vessel from Sol 3. The alien said in perfect English, "We are representatives of the Galactic Confederation." The bridge fell silent. Eric stepped forward. "This is Captain Eric Mason of the Earth exploration vessel Horizon. How are you speaking our language?" The alien made a gesture that might have been a shrug. "We have been monitoring your broadcasts for some time. Your language patterns are simple to decode." Lisa moved beside Eric and whispered, "They seem nervous, Captain. Look at how they keep moving their hands." She was right. The aliens were fidgeting, their 4 eyes blinking at different times. Something about humans made them uncomfortable. "We are surprised," the alien continued. "Your species was not expected to achieve faster than light travel for at least another century. This is an unusual development." Eric felt pride at those words. Humans had always pushed boundaries faster than anyone expected. "We invite your leaders to attend the Galactic Summit," the alien said. "I am Ambassador Zixtal. We would be honored to escort a diplomatic team back to Earth to extend this invitation formally." While the captain talked with the ambassador, John Grant noticed something strange. His communication equipment was picking up other signals, ones the aliens didn't seem to know he could detect. He quietly ran them through the translation software. One word kept appearing: quarantine. John moved to the captain's side and quietly showed him the tablet. Eric read it but kept his face neutral. "Ambassador Zixtal, we would be honored to escort you to Earth. We can depart whenever you're ready." After the transmission ended, Eric called his senior staff to the conference room. "Something isn't right," he told them. "They're too nervous, too surprised we're out here. And these hidden messages about quarantine concern me." "Maybe they're worried about diseases," Lisa suggested. "Or maybe they're worried about us," John said. "Did you notice how they kept their distance? How their ship stayed in a defensive position?" Eric looked out at the stars. Humanity had dreamed of this moment for centuries. First contact with alien life. But instead of excitement, he felt a growing sense of concern. "Whatever the truth is," Eric said, "we need to be careful. Send a coded message to Earth. Tell them we've made contact and are bringing visitors, but that all security protocols should be in place." He paused. "And add this. The neighbors don't seem happy to see us." As the Horizon changed course for Earth with the alien vessel following, Eric couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't a friendly visit. It felt more like inspection, or perhaps even worse, like humans had broken out of some kind of cage they never knew existed. 6 months after the Horizon's discovery, Kate Williams stood on the observation deck of the massive space station called Nexus Prime. Stars she had never seen from Earth glittered outside the window. As Earth's top diplomat, she had been chosen to lead the first human delegation to the Galactic Summit. "It's beautiful," she said to no one in particular. "But not as beautiful as Earth's oceans," replied Ben Harper. The colonel wore his military uniform despite Kate's suggestion to dress in civilian clothes. "I don't trust any of this." Kate understood his concern. Since arriving at Nexus Prime 3 days ago, they had noticed the strange looks from the alien species. Some seemed curious, others afraid. None seemed particularly happy to see humans. 26 different species, said Alan Pierce, their historian. He was taking notes on a small tablet. "And we're the only newcomers. Every other species has been part of this confederation for thousands of years." Kate had noticed this too. The Galactic Summit was supposed to welcome Earth into the interstellar community, but it felt more like they were being examined. "Watch how they move away when we enter a room," Ben pointed out. "They act like we carry some disease." The human delegation consisted of 12 people. Besides Kate, Ben, and Alan, there was Maria Diaz, their best engineer. The others were experts in different fields: science, trade, culture. All had noticed the same cold treatment from the aliens. "Ambassador Williams," a voice called out. Kate turned to see Trell, a young alien from a species called the Arcturians. Trell had 4 arms and skin that changed color with her mood. Right now, she was a friendly yellow. "The council meeting begins in 1 hour. "Thank you, Trell," Kate said with a smile. Of all the aliens they had met, Trell seemed the most genuine. "Will you walk with me? I have questions about the Confederation's history." As they walked through the space station's wide hallways, Kate asked careful questions. She had been a diplomat for 20 years and knew how to get information without seeming too direct. "Trell, I noticed the other species seem concerned about humans. Why is that?" Trell's skin flickered briefly to a nervous orange before returning to yellow. "Oh, well, humans have a certain reputation." Kate stopped walking. "Reputation? But this is first contact. How could we have a reputation?" Trell's 4 hands began fidgeting. "I should not say more. I would get in trouble. Please, Trell, if we're going to join this confederation, we need to understand." Trell looked around to make sure no one was listening. "There are stories, very old stories, about beings from a blue world. Beings who could survive terrible conditions. Beings who fought with unexpected skill and creative violence." She lowered her voice even more. "Deathworlders, some call them." Kate felt a chill. These stories are about humans, but that's impossible. We've never left our solar system before now. Trell's skin had turned a deep worried purple. "I said too much. Please forget I mentioned it." Later, Kate gathered the human delegation in their private quarters. They had swept the room for listening devices twice. "Something isn't right," she told them. "This isn't a welcome ceremony. I think they're afraid of us." Ben nodded. "The security around this station is massive. I counted at least 3 different weapon systems aimed at our ship at all times." "And have you noticed?" Maria Diaz added. "They won't let us see any of their technology up close. When I asked questions about their engines, they changed the subject." Alan Pierce had been quiet, but now he spoke up. "I need access to their historical archives. If there really are ancient stories about humans, I need to find them." Kate made her decision. "We split up. Each of you has a mission now. Alan, find those historical records. Maria, get close to their engineers and learn what you can. Ben, map out their security and find us an escape route if we need it." She looked at each of them seriously. "Something tells me this summit isn't about welcoming Earth to the stars. It's about containing what they call the human threat. And we need to find out why." Alan Pierce felt small in the huge alien library. Rows of glowing data crystals stretched up to the ceiling. Each crystal held more information than all of Earth's computers combined. He had been given limited access to the Confederation archives, but he needed more. "Can I help you find something?" asked the librarian, a tall, thin alien with 6 eyes. "Yes, I'm researching ancient conflicts," Alan said carefully, "particularly any from around 50,000 years ago." The librarian's eyes blinked in sequence. "That section requires special permission." Alan smiled. Ambassador Zixtal approved my request. He showed the tablet with the faked authorization Kate had prepared. The librarian hesitated, then nodded. "Very well. Follow me." Meanwhile, Maria Diaz had made friends with a group of alien engineers. She had shown them pictures of Earth machines, and they seemed impressed by human technology. "Your species developed nuclear power only 200 years after discovering electricity," one engineer asked. "That's unusually fast." Maria shrugged. "We like to solve problems quickly." The alien engineers exchanged looks. One of them, Kelp, seemed more friendly than the others. "Would you like to see our testing facility?" Kelp asked. In the testing room, Kelp showed Maria different strength tests for materials. Then he pointed to a machine with a weight. "This tests physical capabilities of different species," Kelp explained. "Would you try it?" Maria placed her hand on the pad and pushed. The machine registered her strength. All the engineers stepped back in surprise. "That can't be right," one said. "Try again." Maria pushed again. The same result appeared. Kelp looked at her with new eyes. "You're 3 times stronger than the average Confederation species, and your bones are denser too." "Is that unusual?" Maria asked. "Most intelligent species evolve away from physical strength," Kelp said quietly. "They don't need it. But you humans, you kept your strength and still developed intelligence." In another part of the station, Colonel Ben Harper was mapping security systems. He had found an unused maintenance tunnel where he could listen to the security teams. 2 guards walked by, not noticing him. "When do we move against the humans?" one asked. "After the council votes tomorrow," the other replied. "The containment plan is ready. Their planet will be neutralized before they can expand beyond their system." Ben felt cold fear. Neutralized. They were planning to attack Earth. Back in the archives, Alan had discovered ancient records from 20 different species. All told the same story. A terrible war 50,000 years ago against beings from a blue world with oceans and 1 large moon, Earth. One record showed a drawing that looked exactly like a human. The text called them the adaptable ones and warned that they could survive conditions that would kill most species. Another record mentioned that the war ended when the blue world was placed under a containment field that would slow their development. Alan's hands shook as he copied the data. Humans had been intentionally trapped on Earth. That evening, the human delegation met in secret. Each shared what they had learned. "They put some kind of field around our solar system to keep us from developing space travel," Alan explained. "It was supposed to hold for thousands more years. But we broke through it," Maria said. "We developed faster than they expected, and now they plan to attack Earth." Ben added grimly, "Tomorrow." Kate looked at each of them. "We need to warn Earth, but all our communications are being monitored." "I have another idea," Kate said finally. "Let's confront Ambassador Zixtal with what we know. Maybe we can negotiate." They found Zixtal in his private chamber. His 4 eyes widened when he saw all of them together. "Ambassador Williams, this is irregular." "We know the truth," Kate interrupted. "We know humans were quarantined on Earth. We know you're planning to attack our world. What we don't know is why." Zixtal was silent for a long moment. Then he sighed, a strange whistling sound. "Because, Ambassador Williams, your kind terrifies us. You always have." The alarms began to sound just minutes after their meeting with Zixtal ended. Red lights flashed in the hallways of Nexus Prime. "They're coming for us," Ben said, checking the small gun at his side. "We need to move now." Kate nodded. Their confrontation with Zixtal had not gone well. The ambassador had explained that humans were seen as dangerous because they evolved on a planet with high gravity, deadly predators, and extreme weather. This made humans stronger, faster, and more aggressive than most species in the galaxy. Our communications are jammed, Maria said, looking at her device. We can't warn Earth. Armed guards appeared at the end of the hallway. Ben stepped forward. I'll hold them off. The rest of you get to the shuttle bay. We're not leaving you, Kate said firmly. You don't have a choice. Earth needs to know what's happening. Before they could argue more, a door beside them slid open. A tall, thin alien with pale blue skin gestured for them to enter. Quickly, the alien said, I am Lorvek of the Vintari. We don't have much time. They followed Lorvek through a series of narrow maintenance tunnels. The Vintari moved with calm purpose. Why are you helping us? Elen asked. Because the Confederation's fear is illogical, Lorvek replied. The Vintari believe in making decisions based on facts, not ancient fears. And the fact is, humans have shown no aggression toward any species. They reached a small hangar where a sleek ship waited. It was much smaller than the vessel that had brought them to Nexus Prime. This is a diplomatic courier ship, Lorvek explained. It's fast, but it has minimal weapons. Will it get us home? Kate asked. If you're lucky. The nearest jump point to your solar system is 3 days away. Suddenly, they heard shouting. Guards had discovered their escape route. We need to go now, Ben urged, moving toward the ship. Lorvek handed Maria a small crystal. This contains navigation data and some of our technology schematics. Your species should find it. Interesting. They boarded the ship quickly. Maria went straight to the controls while Ben took the weapons station. To their surprise, they found the layout intuitive. It's like they built it for humanoid species, Maria noted. They did, Lorvek said, staying at the hangar entrance. Many species in the Confederation have similar body plans. Good luck, humans. The ship hummed to life as Maria figured out the controls. The hangar doors were still closed. We can't get out, she said with frustration. Ben looked at the weapon controls. Maybe we can blast through. Wait, Alan said. Look at this. He pointed to a symbol on the control panel. I saw this in the archives. It's some kind of emergency override. Maria pressed it, and the hangar doors began to open. Just as guards rushed in, the ship lifted off and shot into space. But their troubles weren't over. 3 larger ships pursued them. They're gaining on us, Ben warned, watching the scanner. Maria studied the crystal Lorvek had given her. This has information about their engine design. If I could just... She began adjusting settings that made no sense to the others. The ship shuddered. What are you doing? Kate asked, holding onto her seat. Something that shouldn't work, Maria replied, her face intense with concentration. According to these schematics, this engine can't exceed certain parameters without failing. But if I reroute power through the secondary systems... The ship suddenly lurched forward at incredible speed. The pursuing vessels fell behind rapidly. How did you do that? Ben asked in amazement. Maria looked equally surprised. I don't know exactly. I just saw a connection they missed. It seemed obvious to me. From the communication station, Alan turned to the others with a strange look on his face. Lorvek is sending us a message, he said. Listen to this. Lorvek's calm voice filled the cabin. What you just experienced is why the Confederation fears humans. You possess what we call adaptive intuition, the ability to see solutions where none should exist. No other species has this trait. It makes you unpredictable. Good luck, humans. The galaxy is about to change. As their stolen ship raced toward human space, Kate looked back at the stars behind them. We need to warn Earth, she said quietly. And we need to prepare for war. The small ship limped into Earth's solar system 3 days later. It had been damaged during their escape, but Maria's unexpected modifications had kept it running. As they approached Earth, they were met by 3 human defense ships. "This is Admiral Frank Miller of Earth Defense Command," came a gruff voice over the radio. "Identify yourselves." "This is Ambassador Kate Williams and the summit delegation," Kate replied. "We need an emergency meeting with Earth leadership immediately." 2 hours later, they sat in a large room at Defense Command headquarters. Top military and government officials listened in shock as Kate and her team explained what they had learned. Alan showed the ancient records, while Maria presented the alien technology crystal. "Let me understand this," said Admiral Miller, a stern man with gray hair. "An alliance of 26 alien species plans to attack Earth because they're afraid of us." "Yes," Kate said. "They believe we're too dangerous to allow into the wider galaxy. Our ability to adapt and innovate frightens them." "How much time do we have?" asked the president. "Days, maybe less," Ben replied. "Their fleet was mobilizing when we escaped." The room fell silent. Earth had only a small fleet of ships, most built for exploration rather than war. The Horizon, the most advanced human ship, was undergoing repairs after its first contact mission. "We're outnumbered and outgunned," Admiral Miller said finally, "but we won't go down without a fight." Scientists and engineers were called in to study the alien technology. They gathered around Maria as she explained what she had learned. To everyone's surprise, the human scientists began making connections that, according to Lorvek's notes, no other species had made before. "It's just like he said," Alan observed. "We see patterns others miss." In the command center, Captain Eric Mason of the Horizon joined the planning session. He had been called back from leave when the crisis began. "Fighting directly would be suicide," he said, studying the star maps. "But maybe we don't need to fight." "What do you mean?" asked Admiral Miller. "The Confederation fears what humans might become, not what we are now," Eric explained. "What if we show them exactly what we're capable of, but not in the way they expect?" He outlined a bold plan. Instead of preparing for defense, they would send a small team on a mission deep into Confederation space. Their target, the Confederation's primary defense network. "This is crazy," Admiral Miller protested. "You want to attack their home systems when we can barely defend our own." "Not attack," Eric corrected. "Demonstrate. Show them our capabilities in a way they can't ignore, but without actually harming anyone." The debate lasted for hours. Some argued for diplomacy, others for all-out war. In the end, Eric's plan won support. They would call it Operation Thunderbolt. "We'll need a small ship, fast and stealthy," Eric said, "and a volunteer crew." "I'll go," Ben said immediately. "Me too," added Maria. "I understand their technology better than anyone else." Eric nodded. "I'll command the mission." Over the next 2 days, they worked nonstop. Earth's best scientists and engineers applied what they had learned from the alien crystal to modify a small experimental ship. They named it Thunderbolt. "The modifications we're making shouldn't work," one engineer commented. "By all the rules of physics we know, this is impossible." "That's the point," Maria replied with a smile. "We're doing what the Confederation fears most, the impossible." On the launch day, Kate came to see them off. The small team was preparing to enter the unknown, facing dangers no humans had ever experienced. "You realize," she told Eric quietly, "that this might not just save Earth. This could change humanity's place in the galaxy forever." Eric looked at his crew, each checking their stations with determination and focus. "That's what I'm counting on," he replied. "It's time the galaxy learned who we really are." The Thunderbolt's engines hummed to life, glowing with energy that no human ship had ever produced before. As they prepared to launch, Eric gave one final order. "Let's show the Confederation exactly why they should have left us alone." The Thunderbolt moved through space like a ghost. The ship's hull was coated with a special material that absorbed sensor scans. This technology was based on designs from the Ventari crystal, but Maria had improved it in ways the aliens never imagined. "We're approaching the edge of Confederation space," Eric announced from the captain's chair. "Prepare to activate jump drive." The human ship had traveled for 5 days, avoiding main space lanes. Their target was Citadel Omega, the massive space station that controlled the automated defense grid protecting the core Confederation worlds. "Jump drive ready," Maria reported. Her fingers moved quickly over the controls. "Jump," Eric ordered. Space twisted around them. The stars stretched into lines, then snapped back into place. The Thunderbolt emerged near a giant blue gas planet. Hidden behind it was their target, Citadel Omega. "We're undetected so far," Ben said from the tactical station. "But that won't last once we get closer." Eric nodded. Time for Phase 2. They had planned this mission carefully. Ben would lead a team to create diversions in the lower levels of the station. Maria would access the central computer to demonstrate human capabilities. Eric would deliver their message to the Confederation Security Council, which was meeting on the station. The Thunderbolt docked at a maintenance port, mimicking the signature of a Confederation service vessel. The humans moved quickly through the station, using the schematics Lorvek had provided. "Remember," Eric told his team, "no lethal force unless absolutely necessary. This is a demonstration, not an attack." They split up. Ben and his team headed toward the power systems. Maria went to find a computer access point. Eric made his way toward the council chamber. Ben's team placed small devices throughout the lower levels. These weren't bombs, but rather gadgets that would create system failures, draw security forces away from the central areas. Devices planted. Ben reported over their secure comms. "Ready to activate on your command." Maria found a quiet maintenance room with a computer terminal. She plugged in a device she had built, combining Earth and alien technology. "I'm in their system," she said with surprise. That was easier than expected. "What do you mean?" Eric asked as he moved through the upper levels. "Their security is advanced, but it's rigid. It only looks for expected patterns of attack. I just did something unexpected, and it didn't even notice." Eric smiled. This was exactly what Lorvek had meant about human adaptive intuition. "I can access the defense grid," Maria continued, her voice excited. "Eric, I can control the entire automated defense system for all Confederation worlds." "Perfect. Stand by." Eric reached the observation gallery above the council chamber. Dozens of alien representatives were gathered below, including Ambassador Zixtal. He tapped his comm. "Ben, create the diversions now. Maria, stand by to demonstrate our control of their defense grid." Alarms began to sound throughout the station. Security forces rushed to respond to the multiple system failures Ben had triggered. Eric stepped into the council chamber. All 4 of Zixtal's eyes widened in shock. "Captain Mason, how did you?" "Hello, Ambassador," Eric said calmly. "Don't bother calling security. They're busy elsewhere." The council chamber erupted in panicked shouts. Eric held up his hands. "I'm not here to harm anyone. I'm here to deliver a message from Earth." On his signal, Maria activated the defense grid. On the large screen in the council chamber, the aliens watched as a single precision weapon fired from an automated defense platform. The energy beam struck a small, uninhabited moon, carving Earth's symbol into its surface with perfect accuracy. The council chamber fell silent. "That was one shot, controlled by one human, using your own defense system," Eric said into the silence. "We could have targeted any of your worlds. We didn't." He looked around the room, meeting the gaze of each alien representative. "You fear us because we're different, because we see solutions you can't imagine. You tried to keep us caged on our world, and when that failed, you planned to destroy us." Eric took a breath before continuing. "But humans aren't conquerors. We don't want war. We want to explore, to learn, to grow. Today, we've shown you what we're capable of when threatened. Now we offer you a choice: continue down the path to war, which will harm us all, or join us in creating something new." The aliens looked at each other in confusion and fear, but Eric could see something else in some of their eyes. the beginning of understanding. 3 months after Operation Thunderbolt, representatives from all 26 species of the Galactic Confederation gathered on Earth. It was the first time so many alien leaders had visited the human homeworld. They met in a large hall built specially for this historic event. Kate Williams led the human diplomatic team. She watched as the aliens took their seats, their expressions ranging from curious to nervous to respectful. "Welcome to Earth," she began. "3 months ago, we stood at the edge of war. Today, we gather to build a future of peace." After the events at Citadel Omega, the Confederation had withdrawn their attack fleet. The demonstration of human capabilities had shocked them, but it was Eric's message of peace that truly changed their perspective. "The Pax Humana," Kate continued, "is more than just a peace treaty. It is a new beginning for all our species." The treaty had been carefully crafted. Earth would remain independent, not subject to Confederation rules that had been created without human input. In exchange, humans would share their unique problem-solving abilities to help all species. Ambassador Zixtal spoke next. His voice was solemn. "For thousands of years, we feared what humans might become. We believed your adaptive nature made you dangerous." He paused. "We were right, but also wrong. You are dangerous when threatened, but that same adaptive nature makes you valuable allies." Many of the alien representatives nodded in agreement. The Vinteri delegation, led by Lorvek, seemed particularly pleased. "You proved something important," Lorvek said. "By choosing demonstration over destruction, you showed wisdom greater than our fear." Eric Mason sat quietly near the back of the room. He had been offered a seat at the main table, but preferred to watch. Maria and Ben sat with him. "They still look nervous around us," Ben whispered. "Some of them, yes," Eric replied. "Old fears don't disappear overnight." Alan Pierce approached their table, carrying an ancient data crystal. "I've been working with their historians," he said excitedly. "We've discovered something incredible about the ancient war." He activated a small projector that showed images of Earth from 50,000 years ago, along with alien text. "The war wasn't with humans," Alan explained. "It was with another species that invaded Earth. Humans were the survivors who fought back and won." Maria looked shocked. "So the Confederation got it all wrong. They feared us because we defeated their real enemy." Alan nodded. The invaders were a predatory species that had conquered many worlds. Earth was their next target. But our ancestors, despite having primitive technology, managed to drive them off. And the Confederation saw this and assumed we were the aggressors, Eric said, understanding now. "Exactly. They placed the containment field around our solar system because they feared we might be the next galactic conquerors." As the treaty signing proceeded, Eric thought about the strange journey that had brought them here. From the discovery of the alien outpost to the confrontation at Citadel Omega, humans had proven themselves both dangerous and peaceful. "What happens now?" Maria asked. "Now," Eric said, "we do what humans have always done. We explore, we learn, we grow." The horizon had been refitted with new technology. Soon it would leave on a mission beyond the borders of known space, not just for humanity, but for all sentient life. After the signing ceremony, Lorvek approached Eric. "There is a saying among my people," the Vinteri said. "The most dangerous creature is not the one with the sharpest claws, but the one that can think of new ways to use them." Eric smiled. "And the wisest creature knows when not to use them at all." As the Earth's sun set on the new alliance, somewhere in the distant reaches of the galaxy, ancient eyes watched. A species far older than the Confederation observed the events with interest. "The children of Earth have finally found their place among the stars," one said to another. "The experiment was successful." "Yes," replied the other. "They have proven to be exactly what the galaxy needs, a species that can adapt, that can see new paths forward." The day humans became the galaxy's greatest threat was also the day they became its greatest hope.